How do we deal with the fiscal cliff? That's what we want to talk about in the video today. Look, ultimately, eventually, there's going to be a deal. Ultimately, there are going to be some increases in revenue, probably not an increase in the tax rate, probably a reduction of tax deductions, possibly a limitation on them for upper income people, something of that sort. But there's going to be revenue because we lost the presidency and we lost the Senate. And eventually that's a price we're going to have to pay. The Democrats are going to have to accept entitlement reform because we won the House. And eventually they'll put this together, I believe, in time for January 1st. Maybe the wee hours, but in time for it. But there's something critically important before we get to that. We have to make Obama propose something. We entered these budget talks during the debt limit period like they were a deal to be made by immaculate conception. Everybody sat down, they negotiated, they bargained, and Obama never had to make a proposal. He never proposed a budget. He never proposed cuts. He never proposed taxes. He just let the Democrats put stuff on the table and negotiate it. We can't let him get away with it this time. He just got elected president. Okay, act like a president. What taxes do you want to increase? What cuts do you want to make? What cuts do you not want to make? And then let's sit down and negotiate a deal. For example, there's been floated around by trial balloon the idea of a carbon tax. Okay, Mr. President, if you want a carbon tax to deal with global warming, you propose it. Now, a carbon tax would be politically deadly for anybody because a carbon tax basically means a gasoline tax and a utility bill tax. And nobody's going to want to pay that, and it's going to be hit at a really sore point with the blue-collar electorate that the Democratic Party hopes always to win. But we have got to make Obama take positions and make proposals. And Boehner can't let him off the hook for this. Now, eventually, there's going to be a split between Boehner and the Tea Party, and between Reid and Obama and some of the left of the Democratic Party. And that split is ultimately going to happen. It's going to be polarizing, and probably the center will have enough votes to pass its program. And we need to remain a pressure group on the right. We need to get the best possible deal we can. But we have got to get Obama to put his cards on the table before we start playing the game. We'll talk about this issue as we go on, and we'll address it in subsequent videos. But this is obviously going to be the main action over the next 2 months.